Here we go. Oops. Cheers, everyone. Sorry about that. This is Amy Mitchell with Houses of Windsor, and you're watching Virtual Tea Time with Amy. And today, my special guest is Robert Bonesteel of Shegog Contracting. Hello, Robert. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
I,
So,
I brought a friend of mine with me.
that's great. Another Robert. Or does he go by a different name? Is that like a different, like an
This
alter
is
ego?
this is RW.
RW. That's great. So usually I start out by asking where you're calling from and what you're drinking. I won't ask you what you're drinking because I'm going to be serving you, but I will ask where are you calling from, like city and state.
Well, I'm calling from historic downtown Sanford.
I laugh because I know you like to call it historic
I do.
Sanford.
I'm the only one.
That's great. And I'm calling from Orlando, not a historic part of it. Orlando, Florida. Okay,
It
so
could, it could be from IKEA.
oh, yeah, it could be. So, Robert, would you like to, let's see, I believe you said you have a gift for me. Do you want to
Oh,
do
I
that
did.
before tea?
Yes, I can't wait.
Okay.
Should we just remind everybody that we are still operating under the parameters of the pandemic
Right.
and that we're doing this virtually, obviously. But I am a bit of a magician, so I
Yeah.
wanted to, put some mojo on this and
Mm-hmm.
wanted to present you with a mask that I got. So here you
Okay.
go.
Okay. Oh no,
You
you
got it?
froze. Hold on, you froze up. I can't see your mask. Oh wait. Okay. Now hand me the mask again. Here. Oh wow! Thank you so much for the mask, Robert. That's awesome. That was
That's
excellent magic.
great.
Yeah. So here, everybody, I now have a Union Jack mask out in COVID. Thank you. That's amazing. So now, would you? Now I can pour you a cup of tea so we can get started.
I honestly myself too.
What do you have?
Uh-huh.
What did you say?
Oh no, keep going.
Okay, so let me pour you
Oh,
some
no,
tea.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, all right, so I'll hand you your tea. I'll go up, okay? There you go.
Ooh, look at that.
So
That
I
was
guess
delicious.
I love it.
Mine hasn't steamed
Damn.
yet. You didn't see mine?
What is it?
Mine hasn't steamed yet. I thought you were a professional. You're going to hand me
I know.
a.
I know. So usually I ask what you're drinking, and magically, I should know what tea is in your cup because I just handed it to you.
Well, it smells like strawberry green tea. I don't know.
Oh,
Is that close?
nice. Yeah. Yep. That's good. Yeah. Well, those tea bags are custom filled with the same quality loose leaf tea leaves as other, like if you're just doing it with like a tea ball or something and filling it yourself. So don't worry, you still have high quality tea in that tea bag.
High quality tea. You want the spoon back?
Huh? Oh, no, you know what? You keep the spoon. You gave me a
Cool.
mask. You keep the spoon.
Three spoons.
That's great.
Outstanding.
So, okay, so for everyone who's watching or whenever you watch it, Robert and I know each other through BNI. And if you've watched before, you've probably heard me talk about BNI plenty of times, Business Networking International. So, so Robert is roofing contractor of the group. Is that what we call you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, just like I'm the crazy tea lady of the group. So So Robert, would you like to tell us a little bit more about what you do? What all does that entail?
Not really.
You can do a really brief thing, just a little plug, and then we'll get into the real part of the show.
Okay, all right. So I've been a roofer for 3 years. I don't actually swing a hammer or anything like that. I suppose I was hired because I am a bit more articulate than your average, roofer from, the sticks or whatever. But let's see, I've been roofing for 3 years. The name of my company is She God Contracting, and we're out of Winter Park, Florida. And I work for it's a family-run business. The owner's name is Marty Shegog, and I get asked often if I'm the owner. I am not the owner. I'm not Marty Shegog. But the second most asked question is, what does Shegog mean? And it's the funniest thing, because I told him either people are going to love it or they're going to like, what's a Shegog?
Right.
Or they'll never forget it. So yeah, his last name is Shegog, and I just tell everybody that he comes from the Kentucky mountains. He's Kentucky Irish. So I don't even know if that's true or not, but
that's what you tell him.
It usually just stops the conversation and we can talk about roofing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I like that. So you have to actually like go up on the roofs, right? Like you're up there looking at it, inspecting it or whatever.
I do. I inspect the roofs. I have a general knowledge, enough to help people determine whether or not they need a new roof, or if they, even more importantly, if they don't need a new roof. Not everybody
right.
Wants to buy a roof. They just want to know the status of their roof. And so I know enough to be dangerous in that respect. And I can let them know if there are any other concerns that they have, or whether or not there's damage, or to tell them where leaks are coming from is always an important one.
Right.
But yeah, I that's pretty much what I do. I don't swing any hammers or install anything myself, but just help facilitate the process for somebody who is interested in buying a roof, knowledgeable about the different types of roofs. I've got experience in several different roofing materials, including metal, tile, like your regular asphalt shingle roofs, even some commercial roofing, things of that nature. So I've learned a lot in 3 years. It's been an amazing experience, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the work.
You do. So you don't have a problem with heights, then I take it, or like slanty roofs.
I've got these boots that have these real sticky bottoms. So I probably rely too heavily on them for my safety, but they really bolster my confidence.
Yeah. Okay.
They make me feel like I can't fall off the roof. Now, that being said,
do we need to knock on wood? Since you just said it.
Find some wood around here somewhere. It could be my last roof every single time, and really, I expect that if I ever fall off a roof, it'll be off of a very short one. That's maybe 5 feet.
Really?
I can hardly step over, like a 3-foot box these days. So it's usually something ridiculous. It's going to be something ridiculous that does me in, if anything does.
That's great. So, okay. So I made you talk about your business, even though you didn't want to. Now I'll ask you the main question. What is your special interest or obsession or hobby? What is like your thing that you care about or like geek out on?
I love cooking.
Cooking? Yeah.
I like cooking. I'm not a chef. I'm not trained or anything like that, but I love seeing something on TV and then going out to the store and buying it and duplicating it.
Oh, wow. So you actually do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you like cooking over baking?
I don't bake. I don't think I've
Okay.
ever baked anything except like beef Wellington is kind of like a
Oh
combination of
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
But no, I'm not a real baker.
Mhm.
I like to grill. I like to cook. I like to saute. I like to. I love to eat. And
Mhm.
that's the best thing about it is
Mhm.
you're cooking what you eat. You'll
Right.
never be hungry. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just the best.
Mhm. So it's interesting because remember Nate Webster that was in our group,
Mm-hmm.
the therapist. So he pointed out to me that there's people that like baking and there's people that like cooking, and rarely does one person like both, because baking are the people who like set instructions and set measurements. That's me. And then the cooking people are like, just like kind of eyeball it, taste it, add whatever to it. So,
That's a key.
yeah, so that's why I was asking, yeah, if you, I was trying to see if you happen to like baking as well, but so far Nate's theory is true.
That is, that could be true. I mean, sometimes you have to bake in order to cook, but I don't know.
But
Not
like,
necessarily.
yeah, I would say, but like baking any, I don't know, like if like cakes or like cookies, brownies, like that kind of breads, that kind of stuff.
Nope, I like the easy bake stuff, the stuff that you pour all the ingredients into
Mm-hmm.
the bowl and then you just add.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, you cut out for a second. Wait, Robert, we can't hear you. Hold on. Okay, now talk.
All right,
All right, you're back.
yeah, I'm back. What's the little easy bake ovens?
Oh yeah, I used to have one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never had one. I won't admit to it, but I did play with my neighbors a lot.
Yeah, that's okay. So it's so funny thinking back to that though, how, I mean, maybe they still have them, but they're so unsafe. Like they got so hot. And
You,
these kids are
you know
playing
how
with
they
them.
work, right? It's a
Uh-uh.
hot light bulb.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a
That's what
super
it
hot light
was?
bulb. It
Oh
like I
my,
think the cake half cooks by itself just by air drying, but
mm-hmm.
then the light bulb inside makes it really hot, and then
Oh,
and then you grab the little tongs on the other side.
yeah, I remember, yeah.
The cake comes on this side, and then
And
it does its magic, and then the other
then you pull
tong
the other
comes
out.
in and pulls it out, and then voila.
Oh, that's awesome. I had no idea. I never even questioned what it was that made it do that.
I have a real knack for taking things apart and putting them back together again.
Hmm. That's so. So wait. So with the cooking, then, do
Mhm.
you primarily, like you mentioned stuff on TV? Are you more of like seeing something on TV or Pinterest or cookbooks? Like, what is it that you're usually getting your inspiration from?
Um, I have Pinterest.
Hmm.
I do use Pinterest, but I use it for more like photographs and other interests, not so much for cooking.
Hmm.
Except for I do have a grilled cheese page where you wouldn't believe how many different ways you can make grilled cheeses. I think this is what color should it be?
What color should what your
My
TV?
my TV should it be green?
Yeah, well, it'll be like almost like a lightish yellow, like kind of clearish. It won't, it'll be like a green yellow. It's not real, uh, it's not like a bright green or a
All
solid
right.
green.
And I'm gonna take out this tea bag now.
Okay.
Oh, I dropped it again. I don't do this a lot.
That's all right. You don't have a virtual tea time a lot?
It's my third one this week. I know all of these sea people. Okay, so this is a lovely cup.
Thank you. And we've got matching cups
We're
because I
toast.
handed it to you. Oh, yeah.
Are you
Cheers.
supposed to
Here.
toast me?
Ready? We're not, but Piper loves to cheers, my daughter, so we'll cheers. Um, Yesterday we were having tea and she wanted to cheers and she hit the teacups really hard. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's
If you're
so
gonna
fun.
cheers with teacups, you gotta do it a little gentler. You're gonna break them.
I have to say that I like RW's hair.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
mean, RW is probably the coolest guy I know.
Yeah. And
Uh-huh.
and you said you what accidentally cut your hair today or what was that story?
I did. All right.
If you want to share it with everyone.
So I've been cutting my hair for about 20 years now.
Okay.
And the thing about cutting your hair is, to begin, you have to be okay with if you make a mistake, you have to be okay with it looking bald.
Okay.
Which for ladies, that is probably few and
Yeah,
far
we're
between.
yeah.
Not willing to take that risk. But
Mm,
so today I'm thinking I'm going to be on Amy's show, and
mhm.
I'm just going to tighten up a little bit. And I was thinking like, okay, I'm not going to screw this up, but if I screw it up, it's been a long time since I messed up my hair.
Mhm.
And I put on the guard on the clippers, and I went like that, and I cut it like right across the top, and I was like, I can't believe I was thinking about not screwing it up, and I
And
actually
then you
shaved
did it.
off my hair.
Uh-huh. Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so here it is.
Oh, well, it still looks good, but that's too bad.
I'm okay. I'm
That's,
okay.
yeah. But that's an interesting point that, yeah, if you're going to cut your own hair, you have to be prepared for, that as a
So,
result.
so is this is um, this is Robert. Wait a minute. Let me see if I.
Robert.
This is Robert in the Hulk mode.
That's great.
Okay. So, and then let's see. Then here's German Robert. This is Rudolph.
That's good. Now I have to
Ultimate.
ask, when were you dressed that way? And where were
Uh,
you?
this is so we have the German restaurant in historic Sanford,
Oh, right. I've
and
heard of it.
so so the plan is they have Oktoberfest every year, and we have
Mm-hmm.
a street party, and the plan was I'm going to buy this this complete getup, and then we're going to go to Germany or
Mm-hmm.
to Austria and go to the real Oktoberfest. And so
Mm-hmm.
I got this whole outfit, and then the pandemic hit, so we couldn't.
Oh, man.
So now I have $500 lederhosen made out of, like, I don't know, they're like it's cowhide. They make it out of deer hide as well.
Oh my
But
gosh. So you got authentic lederhosen?
yeah, I did. I have authentic lederhosen, but I'm mostly German anyway, so
Oh, you are? Uh,
mostly.
yeah. What's the other part?
I have 20% English, Welsh,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've got 10% Scotch Irish.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've got 2% Eastern European,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like a little Russian, a little Cossack
Yeah.
accent.
Nice.
I was telling somebody I was just a mutt today, just a European mutt.
That's great. Yeah, I still need to do either the 23andMe or like Ancestry, whatever. I need to do something like that to figure out what I truly am. Based on my family histories, it's Irish and Scottish, but I have not been, my blood hasn't been fact checked, so I don't know yet.
You're not afraid they're going to get your DNA and try to clone you, or
No, they can clone me. It's fine.
I'm like, if you clone me, that's your own problem.
Yeah, but I mean, I might end up being framed for a crime. That could be a problem with it. That's what I would fear with them having my DNA.
Well, I'm 50, so it's all gravy at this point. If you want to throw some spice into my life and like accuse me of killing somebody,
Right.
great. There,
You'll go to jail.
yeah,
And then maybe you'll get like a Netflix special about you're wrongly accused.
yeah. What's that show?
It was the, oh shoot, Making a Murderer?
Yeah,
That guy. Yep. That's who
yeah,
I was thinking of when I said you'll get your
yeah,
own show.
yeah.
That's great. So I still wanna dive more into your cooking obsession though. So when did it start? Like at what age Or like, have you always been interested? Was there someone in your family that cooked? Like, where did this come from?
Yeah, I had, this is going to get really interesting. So,
Okay.
so I have a cousin who trained at the Culinary Institute of America.
Mm-hmm.
And he also trained in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
So his name was Rick Kirshner, and he is amazing. I mean, he makes the most difficult things seem unbelievable. And I remember as a kid, I went up to his house, and he had live lobster in his refrigerator. He wasn't showing off or anything. That was just a
Right.
regular deal.
That was just normal.
Yeah, I was like, why, why are you doing this? So the next morning, he made like these, fresh lobster, uh, eggs Benedict with lobster and all this
Oh,
kind of
wow.
stuff. I was like, what in the heck? And it's like probably the best thing I ever put in my mouth, even to this day.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was just something that he was doing, maybe he was showing off a little bit. But I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So, my mom, she was a pretty decent cook for what she had. She wasn't, my parents weren't wealthy or anything like that, but there were certain tastes that I grew up with, coming from the Midwest. I mean, there were like just a certain way that people bake chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Like beef stew,
Oh, right.
hot roast. It was just a certain way that I grew up eating that kind of stuff, and we really did sit down and we really did have family meals.
Mm-hmm.
But she only made the same like 5 things her whole life. Like there wasn't anything else. There was scrambled eggs, there was pot roast, there was Italian breadcrumb chicken. There was pork chops with red.
Oh, wait, hold on. You cut out for a second at pork chops. Hold on. I can't hear you.
I learned how to cook
Okay.
because I wanted to know if there was anything else out there to eat besides that. I just didn't know. I never had fast food. My
Right.
parents didn't do
Oh,
fast
wow. Yeah.
food. Yeah. So it was really, I think that kind of fueled it a little bit. And then I figured I was going. My dad was a horrible barbecue chef.
Really?
Yeah, he would barbecue. The steak that is rare on one side but charcoal on the other.
Yeah.
That was
That's
his MO. He was
okay.
really bad at it.
Okay. So when you
Uh,
say barbecue, you mean using the grill, right?
Using the grill.
Okay. I always think of barbecuing as like actual, like the barbecue flavor of sauce or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
so I just call it grilling if you're cooking something that's not barbecued food.
I figured all barbecue was supposed to taste like that because it was so bad that he would just smother it in the barbecue sauce.
Oh my
He
gosh.
didn't use good barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
That's good. So, did you have siblings and stuff?
I have a sister,
A sister? Okay. And you're from the Midwest. What part?
Michigan.
Michigan. Okay. I'm from Indiana, so that's why I was curious. It was like everything you were talking about. I'm like, yeah, I know those meals.
Do you know what part of Indiana? I think we talked about this
Yeah, that's
before.
okay. I'm from Muncie, where Ball State is, Ball State University. No.
Is that near
Um,
Rensselaer?
it's like 40 minutes from Indianapolis. Which way? Everyone's watching is going to be upset. Like, I guess east, like southeast kind of from Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Actually, I might be really wrong. I'm like picturing it and I'm like, wait, maybe we're northeast. Whatever.
How far is that from Chicago?
It is 4 hours, and I know that because I used to drive it often. I lived in Chicago after college for 4 years, and yeah, so I made that drive quite often. It was 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
My father's family was from Rensselaer, Indiana.
Oh, okay. I know the name. Yeah.
So yeah, and then my grandfather or my great grandfather was he was a doctor. He was, let's see, they eventually used his house for one of the dorms at college in Rensselaer, and I cannot even remember the name of it. But anywho.
Yeah, I don't know what college is there, but I believe I've only been there stopping on the way, like to or from Chicago. And I could be wrong, but I feel like that might be where a gummy bear, like a big gummy bear factory thing is, because we stopped to get gummy bears. That's all. Yeah, I could be wrong. It might have been another exit around there, but I think it was, yeah, around Rensselaer. But yeah. So what are your favorite things to cook then? Like, I know you mentioned you like sautéing and, different styles, but what do you enjoy? What do you cook, I guess, the most often? Or what's a good meal? What's a good one that you do if somebody wanted to start cooking better? Like, what would you say? How would you advise them to start?
Oh boy. So if somebody wants to cook, what should they do? If you have a lot of downtime and you've cut the cord from cable, there's a guy that I'm watching right now called Sam, the cooking guy, on YouTube, and he just makes the most delicious stuff that you've ever put in your mouth. And he's really funny and witty, so I connect with him on that level.
Okay, awesome.
And yeah, he's out of San Diego. He's pretty well known, but he just makes these awesome things on his outdoor grill, and he's got all these fancy contraptions, and he just makes difficult things look easy. And so I will like run out and go get whatever he was making, and come back and like we'll make it.
I love it.
Yeah, awesome. Just I don't know. It depends on if you're a visual learner or if you can follow directions. I mean, it just depends on whatever your modality is.
Right.
I'm very visual, so like I love to watch it, and for my teacher to have patience and
right.
And yeah, I could just like stop and rewind it.
That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah, if you like pause it along the way while you're doing stuff, or yeah. So
definitely.
So Sam, the cooking guy, that's his name.
Sam, the cooking guy, and I also it doesn't hurt to have a restaurant experience and have worked in a restaurant and I mean worked hard.
Oh, okay. What did you do? What's your experience with that?
I did when I was in college. Well, let's see. My first cooking experience. My first experience at work was at Publix. Now, my first experience was bussing tables in an Indian restaurant at 13.
Oh wow, at 13?
At 13, and yeah, it was here though. It wasn't in India.
I was gonna say, yeah, I didn't think they said you did.
Yeah. No, I got asked if I wanted to work, and so I was bussing tables, and so I was around the kitchen. And they were making the red chicken. I cannot remember what you call it.
Is it the chicken tikka masala? That's the one I get. Chicken tikka.
Red chicken?
Huh?
Is it the red chicken?
Yeah, like it ends up being red on the outside. It's not red the whole way in, right? But like the outside of it's red.
That's the one.
Okay.
Got all these chickens hanging in the kitchen. And then they made lots of curry, obviously. It was really good. But I would always steal my dad's white Oxford cloth shirts,
Yeah.
And then wear those as my uniform. And they would always come back to the house, and I would just put them in his hamper, And they always smelled like curry and started turning yellow, and he couldn't figure out why.
That's hilarious. He didn't know.
He didn't know. It's like, why did my shirt smell like curry?
Right.
He didn't know I was working or anything.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. So you were, yeah, you're being sneaky about working.
I can't figure it out. And then I worked at Publix, and I enjoyed the produce section a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this, but if you get a Publix and you talk to the produce manager, they will open up and show you how to prepare a lot of the vegetables in the produce section.
Oh, really?
I really love doing it.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Yeah.
if you have an opportunity, like star fruit and like how to use
Mm-hmm.
them and how to prepare them and all that
Right.
kinds of stuff. So I love doing that. And then my first let's see, in college I ran a sports bar. It's kind of like a comfort food kind of place. That was
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool. Um, and then I got into restaurant management at that point and ended up in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I think.
Oh wow.
Is
Was
where
that cool?
it was great. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I went to work for the House of Blues up there, and House
Oh.
of Blues, they took me to Myrtle. Well, so I was in Myrtle Beach. They took me to Atlanta in '96 for the Olympics. So
Oh
they had
wow.
it was really cool. They had a nightclub there, and then we had little eateries and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then they let me go to Chicago for the grand opening, and
Oh
then I got
wow.
to do the grand opening in Chicago for the house,
Yeah.
and I was waiting tables there, and they were starting off a new venture called the Gospel Brunch,
Mm-hmm.
and they started doing that in New Orleans, and so
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to New Orleans and 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 um, and work there. But the cool thing about that was um, there was the Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, and the College National Championship all back to back to back.
Oh my gosh. And you were there
So,
for all of it.
so yeah, I was there. I was there for the national championship for the Sugar Bowl, and
Mm-hmm.
then there was the Super Bowl in February, and then there was Mardi Gras like right after that. So
Mm-hmm.
we would literally work. It's like being a firefighter. You'd work like 24 on and then have 48 off,
Right,
and
right.
and
Wow.
then, and then when the big shows were happening, then you had to work like 3 days in a row.
Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
right? There was never any downtime. Nothing ever shut down.
Right. Wow.
But I learned how to cook, ironically, not in the House of Blues, but there were like little restaurants all over town outside of the French Quarter where
Mm-hmm.
we would go and eat, and I would fall in love with whoever was working there and
Mm-hmm.
just say, how do you make it? Or can I see? Can I go
Yeah.
past it? And
Oh.
it was really cool. And they would just show me like little things.
Yeah.
And they just kind of stuck with me. So
That's cool. I like that. I like that you just like ask them for to like look and see and ask them what they do. That's cool.
you know, one of the best things I ever ate was a fried chicken sandwich
Really?
with with it was a bone-in chicken breast.
And it was on a sandwich?
Yeah, but it has a bone in it.
Right. So how's that work?
So, like when you go to eat it, you have to like kind of pull the bones out of your mouth when you eat it.
Oh
But
my gosh.
for some reason, that's just the way they do it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was white bread with mayonnaise, thick tomato, or fried chicken with lettuce, and that's all it was. But at like 3 o'clock in the morning, it's
Oh
the
yeah.
most delicious thing ever.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
So I have to ask you because that makes me think of since you're from the Midwest, do you know what a breaded tenderloin is? And like on a sandwich?
Um, like pork,
Or is that Indiana? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, pork tenderloin. I
Yeah.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine. I mean, I don't think I've ever had one like.
Oh, you haven't? So maybe it's Indiana. It's like they're usually really big and it's like really flattened out and breaded and it's on like a bun and it's got usually lettuce and tomato and mayonnaise. But they're delicious, but I guess outside of Indiana, nobody knows what they are.
So is it tenderized? Do you have a piece of pork and then you put it in? Like when I tenderize something, I put it in a bag and I like hammer it out so that
Right.
it's really flat.
So I've never made it. I've get it at restaurants. But I would imagine they must have to, yeah, beat the crap out of it because it's very flat. It's easy to eat.
It sounds German like a schnitzel.
I don't know what a schnitzel's like or
It's
what that is.
you can make it out of veal, out of chicken, or out of pork.
Okay.
And basically, what you do is you have a it's not very tender. Like you can't like chew it unless you
Mm-hmm.
tenderize it. So the way you tenderize meat is you can pound it out with one of those hammers.
Uh-huh.
You've seen this, so you
Yeah,
pound it
I've
out
seen those. Uh-huh.
really thin, and then you use like a light egg wash,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then you let it soak in the egg wash, and then you lightly dredge it through flour, and then you deep fry it. And
Oh, okay.
you could, I suppose, you could use a cast iron skillet
Mm-hmm.
and brown both sides, and then put it on let it cook inside the oven for maybe 20 or 30 minutes, so that it cooks all the way through. But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's cool. So, do you have one of those like air fryer things that I hear everyone talking about?
I
Do you know what I'm
do.
talking about? You do?
Yeah, it's kind of
Do
cheap.
you like it?
What do I cook in that? I cook like tater tots.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't really use it for anything because it just sucks all the flavor out of it for some reason. It just doesn't
Really?
work for me. It's supposed to cook with convection air, which means
Right.
it just swirls air around it, hot air around it, and then cooks all the way around. But I can do nothing but it just sucks all of the flavor out of my food when I
Mm-hmm.
eat. And maybe I'm just
Okay.
eating it wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either because I've never used one. I just know I hear everyone like talking about them. I feel like it was like a big trend for a while.
You need to get an InstaPot though.
Okay, remind me what that is because I have heard that I've heard it before, but I forget what it is.
So an Instapot it's kind of like a slow cooker,
Mm-hmm.
but it also has a lid to pressure cook as well. So
Okay.
what it allows you to do is it allows you to take meals that normally would take 4 or 5 hours to do in like 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
And you don't
That
lose flavor at all. It is amazing.
and you said and it's not scary like the traditional pressure cookers, like those scare like
No,
it's not
no,
you're not gonna blow up the kitchen.
no, you can't. You can't do that. It's impossible. Never say never, but
Oh, that's great. So I want to ask you, do you have any ghost or alien stories, or like anything that can't be something that's happened to you or someone you know that's just like can't be explained?
I'm sorry. I don't have
You're
anything.
fine.
I want to believe in that stuff, and I just can't
Well,
because
that's the other thing then. Yeah, then that's fine too. Did you ever like were you ever scared as a kid, or have you just never been a problem? Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, hopefully the connection comes back. Um, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. I know I can hear you. So, were you ever scared of it as a kid?
Um, I think I used to go out and look for it. So
Oh,
I, I, and I think I'm just disappointed that I never found anything.
yeah.
But yeah, no, nothing. And
No.
now I live in a 100-year-old house. And I'm like, I want to have an
Oh,
experience,
right.
and I don't get any of that.
Right, right. Oh, yeah.
So we used to go to Casadega when we were teenagers,
Hmm.
and we used to try to steal the signs out of the mediums' houses.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, think about it. Like
That's funny.
you're really cruising for it.
Yeah.
If, if they are witches, like,
Right.
are you are you dumb or what?
Right.
So anyway, so yeah, I used to get freaked out by stuff like that because
That's
I wanted
funny.
to be not,
Right.
you know.
Like, well, have you ever done like a psychic reading or anything like that? Did you guys ever go inside? Or you just only stole the signs?
No, but I did meet Jim Belushi's sister,
Uh-huh.
who looks just like him, and
Really?
look her up. Jim and John Belushi's sister is a psychic in Illinois who
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wait, you cut out for a second. Hold on. You keep talking. I'll tell you when we hear you. We cut out right at the point where you're talking about.
Okay.
I think I can hear you again. So
All
we
right.
lost, or at least I lost you at when you were saying what John Belushi's sister does.
Yeah, you know how I keep your audience in suspense?
Yeah,
I just unplug my computer.
I know.
Just ask me something really interesting, and then I'll be like,
Right. Hey, maybe that's your ghost. Paranormal activity messes with electronics a lot, and
yeah, everything
you've
makes
had
sense.
a lot of Zoom problems.
There must be a lot of this in there. Um,
Anyway, you said you met her though.
so yeah, John Belushi's sister is a paranormal psychic and has been hired by police departments to try to find lost children or the
Oh
ghosts of
wow.
children. And yeah, and of course she said this, and I said, "You're not related to." It's like I was
Yeah.
more interested in whether or not she's related to Belushi or not.
Right.
Actually, talk to the dead, right?
Right.
So I figured anyway. So so she gives me like John Belushi has this thing that he does to the side, like
Hmm.
where and she does it like perfectly. I'm like, your sister. It was unmistakable. It was uncanny. It
That's
was,
great.
but no, that's the only psychic experience I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I haven't done any, let's see, I haven't done any psychic I think, well, I was at some like trade show thing and there were like psychics there because it was like, entertainment stuff you can hire. I honestly don't remember much of what they said to me. It wasn't anything like shocking or scary. But I don't have any ghost stories either, and that's why I'm always looking to hear other people's. I like hearing other people's, and I like to hear if people are more ghost leaning or alien leaning. It's kind of like the whole cooking versus baking. I feel like people are either kind of one or the other. So, uh,
I'd
yeah,
have to lean to aliens.
you lean towards aliens. Okay.
They definitely exist. Um, I don't, all right. So as far as ghosts go, like I do believe that your spirit has weight, and that when it leaves your body,
Mm-hmm.
that the body actually becomes like a significant amount lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if that's because the air in your lungs has weight or whatever, but I think we all want to believe that
Right.
your spirit goes somewhere, and I mean we're all brought up that way to believe that, but I don't know. The older I get, the more I'm not sure,
Right.
but
Right.
I think I would be more inclined to think that there are aliens
Mm-hmm.
at this point than I believe that there are ghosts.
Right. Well, Kay, when I asked her this question, she said she's got her bags packed. She's ready for the aliens to come come pick her up. So she's definitely leans towards aliens. Uh-oh. Put that pinky down. That's a common misconception.
The pinky.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you got to keep your pinky down.
Uh oh. So
Yeah,
what is that?
so it just like kind of curls under, yeah, like this. Just kind of curls under your cup.
Okay.
Sorry. It's fun. I mean, you can do it for fun. Stick your pinky up, but don't do it with the queen.
No, is she gonna like
Yeah.
that?
No. Well, it's basically I believe like from what I've looked up, the reason why that has become a thing that people think is proper is because I guess when like the top social class whatever when they eat like hors d'oeuvres and things they like just pick them up like this and so like their pinkies naturally kind of up and but then people like will say the commoners or the people that weren't really there for it or weren't like partaking just assume that they do the same thing for tea. So it was kind of just like this thing of like, oh, you're fancy, you put your finger up. But really, they didn't do it for their teacups. so,
Hmm.
so that's just to burst everyone's bubble today.
I think the French probably started it.
You think the French started? That's good. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can tell, but like it's definitely about to storm here. It got very dark. I'm like facing windows, and now all of a sudden I look like I'm sitting in the dark.
I just
But
finished on it too.
yeah, I was like, your lighting still looks pretty bright and good. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I don't have any really. I definitely don't. I'm definitely ghost leaning. I mean, I think aliens, sure they exist, but they don't interest me. I think the ghosts are more interesting.
They're definitely not interested in us.
Yeah. So
We should just we should just they're out there saying we should just let them sort all of their problems out before we.
exactly.
I don't, I don't want to make their problems my problems.
Right, right. So, but I was watching a movie with my friend Kyle that was called Dark Skies, I think is what it was called. And I knew we were watching an alien movie. He loves aliens, but we were discussing it after, and the initial things, the initial weird stuff that's happening in the house, if you didn't know and you had to guess, I would have definitely guessed it was a ghost or like something paranormal doing that stuff. And he, said he definitely would have guessed like it's obviously aliens. So I just found that interesting that some of the weird stuff that happens, really, you could say it's one or the other. But who knows?
So you thought it was ghosts, and he thought it was aliens.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like if I would have been the character, the main character in the movie at the time, I would have assumed because it was kind of like chairs were moved a weird way, stuff was kind of like doors were open, so just kind of weird stuff. The only thing that made it super alien was there was some kind of like specific shapes and things and like designs or whatever that you'd see like in a crop circle.
Mm-hmm.
So that looked like aliens, but if they didn't have that and I was the main character in the movie, I would have assumed it was a ghost. so, so do with
Yeah.
that what you will.
Well, the only time I feel like a real strong spiritual connection is if you've ever been to a funeral at a funeral home.
Mm-hmm.
It is like one of the most
Oh,
uncomfortable places I've
that's
ever been.
that's a really good point. I've never thought about it that way, but you're right. It is very, yeah,
So
uncomfortable.
if they're around, they're definitely in there.
Mm-hmm.
My neighbor just got pulled over by the police right in front of my house.
Oh no.
It's
Is
so
it like
funny.
your next door neighbor?
I don't know, man. We could get it all on
Camera.
you can never see this happen. Um,
That's great.
but I had a teacher who died within the last year. He was the one who made me aspire to be a teacher, and
Mm-hmm.
come to find out that just about everybody there either worked with him or became a teacher because of him. And so
Wow.
I was in good company, but they were, and I'm so happy I can't remember it now. But at the end of the service, they were playing this one song on a loop over and over and over again, and just
Mm-hmm.
all of these pictures and pictures and pictures. I was just
Right.
like, this is never going to end. This is just I cannot wait to leave.
Yeah.
But they just kept on playing the song over in a loop, and I had told my wife if I ever die, don't do it in a funeral home, don't
Mm-hmm.
don't do it. And now part of me wants to do it, but I want to play the song September Rain by Guns N' Roses. Like
You know,
it's a long song,
as a long, yeah.
but I wanted to play like 5 times in a row on a loop and have like the longest slideshow ever, and just make people stay there out of respect.
That's hilarious. That's really
But
funny.
and then I started thinking, well, I want to do this probably within the next year, but
Mm-hmm.
then pop out at the end and just say, just kidding, and just and see how many people show up at your funeral. Are you curious? Who's going to
Yeah,
show
yeah,
up?
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, but you might not have friends after that because they're probably gonna be pretty upset.
Well, the ones that showed up to the 50th birthday party, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that was a pleasant surprise. I think
Yeah,
I invited I
you invited
invited
a lot.
I invited like 200 and something
That's what I
people.
was saying. I thought it was over 200. Yeah.
And then so like as I got closer to the party, some people said they were coming, didn't. And then I kept on asking if they were coming. And I was able to go into my Facebook page and then like change people's,
Oh, yeah.
from coming to not
Right,
coming.
right. So
And then,
yeah.
then I knew how much to order and all that
Right.
kind of stuff. But I still had like 32 people come. And
Wow.
then brought a guest.
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It was a
That's
great
awesome.
thing.
Yeah, and that's where you got your bouquet of Roberts, right?
Yeah, they're all over the house. Here's another one.
It's so good.
And then here's me at the beach.
So it didn't start as a bouquet, right? They just were placed around the house.
Yeah, everybody just had them. This is my favorite one.
Oh my God. What were you doing in that one?
This is a birthday a few years ago where we were all just kind of letting loose down in New Smyrna Beach.
And someone caught the picture.
But a friend of ours went onto Facebook and she found all of my pictures.
Oh my gosh.
And made these on these paint sticks and
Yeah.
all over the house. So like whenever you opened up a drawer or the fridge or something, it was all,
You pop out.
yeah, in the shower. There's one of me in the shower. And then, yep, and then I'm in the closet and I'm hanging from the ceiling fan. And
That's very fun. You're very fun friends.
I did. They were great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, probably we should wrap up. I know you have to get on with your day. You've got somewhere else you still have to go.
I did.
But
that was way too quick.
I know, but I always ask, do you have any final words? Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go? I know. You know, people are like, what do you want? Like something inspirational? I'm like, no, I don't know. Just say whatever you want.
Oh, geez. I don't know, man. I just kind of want to think. I want things to get back to normal. I mean, to a degree. I don't like the new normal. I don't like it when people say this is the new normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand. That's I don't know if you saw on Facebook, but I was at an expo on Friday, and it was like the new way to do expos. So lots of people there, but masks and distancing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just hope we can all learn something from all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Learn how to cook. Learn how to read a book. Like enjoy the time that you have with the people that are closest to you.
Mm-hmm.
Try to understand people's perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of kind of focusing on what your own beliefs are and whatnot, just try to understand people a little bit better.
Right.
And then if you can just do those little simple things, then the big things will happen.
Right.
So.
I like that. That's good. Perfect.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Robert, for being on. This is Robert Bonesteel of Shigag Contracting, and I'm Amy Mitchell with Houses of Windsor. And yes, and you watch Virtual Tea Time with Amy. So, all right. Have a great evening, everyone. Cheers.
It was a blast.
Thank you. Bye.